All right, everybody, we are back for some more decluttering. Today I'm going to try to tackle our bookcase down here. We also have additional books in there and maybe some games that I might donate or just see if we have duplicates. I can already see we've got a couple sets of Risk and Monopoly. Yeah, and just see what we can give away. There are some sentimental items in this area as well. I am not ready to do sentimental items. That's just another level because I do want to figure out what to do with things. But if I have time after this, I will maybe also try to get rid of some of the kids' toys as we kind of come into the holiday time when they may get a few more items. So just want to kind of clean that up. All right, let's go. Overall, this declutter was actually a little bit harder than I thought it would be. I thought I would just be like throwing books left and right into the box, but as you can see, I'm kind of looking at things as I go and trying to decide, do I want to keep this? Do I think I'll use it? And I ended up doing this more often than I really thought I would. And part of me wonders if there are likely parts of me that I'm not ready to let go of. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is why decluttering is so difficult because, we attach pieces of our life or pieces of our past life, our future self to items around us. And even when we think we don't, it just happens. Hence why I thought I would be better at this. I'm actually looking at a recipe book right now that is specifically about making bread. That was a gift. And I do want to make bread and I want to get better at making bread. That particular book, I don't even think is really recipes. I think a lot of it actually delves into just the science behind salt, flour, yeast, and water. But I couldn't get rid of it. And so back on the shelf it went. I do a pretty good job, but yeah, it ended up being harder because I think I'm kind of holding on. So hopefully I can get better. So the other part of our bookcase is more nonfiction books. This side is where we keep a lot of fiction and certainly like a lot of fantasy novels. And some of these books I've had for a really long time. Some of them I've read many, many times. Some of them I haven't read at all. So as I'm going through, you'll see I kind of stop occasionally to look at a book, read the summary, and kind of decide, is this something I think I would read in the future? Or do I just need to let it go even though I've never read it? And a lot of, I do love books. I find now with children though, it's actually easier for me to read more on my phone at the moment. I can pick it up easily, put it down easily, not lose my place. Whereas with a book, even with a bookmark, you're just, sometimes the interruptions are too much. So I think for this season, I'm very much reading on the Kindle app on my phone or on the Libby app via the local library, which I'm so excited that they have digital books now through libraries. I think that's amazing. One, to help with clutter, but also, again, to help me read more day to day. But I do hope that I can get to a place where I can actually have occasionally a physical book. I don't want to necessarily only read physical books, but sometimes it is really nice to just be away from the screen, reading in a place away somewhere in the house. But yep, again, like I mentioned, just not the season of life. The kids are just younger and need a lot of time and attention. So for the moment, I'm going to pick a couple books that I'll save, but hopefully, again, can get rid of quite a few here. The children's books, these add up so quickly. Just gifts, and we have signed up for the Dolly Parton's imagination library, so we get books sent to us. It's a wonderful program, but man, do those books add up so quickly. Some of them I think are just maybe a little more advanced, so I'm trying to see, should I hold on to them until my kids can actually read at this level, or have a longer attention span so they'll sit down and listen to me read at this level, because they're not quite there for a really lengthy, more in-depth children's book. I think I did a pretty good job here, but again, it boggles my mind how much harder this was than I thought it would be. I really thought I was going to just chop the book amount in half, no problem. And yeah, that's just not how it goes. So I'm of the mindset that even though this wasn't necessarily as much as I would have liked, I still did accomplish a little bit of decluttering, got rid of a little bit of stuff that can now go on to other people who can get use out of it. And that's okay. And just do it little by little. Decluttering does not have to be this huge, enormous task, because that might end up stopping you from getting anything done. I didn't want to be paralyzed by kind of an all or nothing mentality, and go with, what can I accomplish today in this time frame? And that's kind of how I'm approaching decluttering all the time in all the different places of the house. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Unfortunately, this declutter is not going to have a good before and after, because I haven't organized it yet and don't have time for that right now. But I did fill 2 boxes with books. So there is less, even if it doesn't look like it. Okay, I changed my mind. So instead of continuing to declutter, since I did these 2 boxes, I am going to clean the basement, because it is a kid zone disaster, and we're probably going to have some folks over this weekend. And again, sorry for the noise. The neighbors are cutting down a lot of their trees. Hopefully it's because they're diseased, and maybe they'll plant some new ones, but it is kind of sad to see all these big mature trees go. But anyway, I'm gonna see if I can clean this place up a little bit. Yikes. Oh, and I guess I should mention about the trees. I didn't mean anything against my neighbors. Obviously, they need to do what makes the most sense for their life, their property. Maybe they wanted better views. Maybe those trees were diseased, which is, why they might have been taking them down. It was more, I know mature trees can be so hard to come by. Trees take so long to grow, right? So anytime I see one that does have to be taken down, whatever the reason, it's always a little bit sad. But again, totally get that they are trying to accomplish something on their property. And I think they have opened up their view to the water a lot more. So I'm sure when they're relaxing in their living room, they're very happy about having a much wider view. But anyway, Here I had to kind of split up these boxes because when I initially attempted to lift the two, it was way too heavy. I was not getting those upstairs. So just going through separating things, and then I can get on to cleaning. Does anyone else have such a hard time keeping things intact with kids? I think this tube tent thing is broken. It still functions like well enough for what they're going to use it for, but sometimes I don't know how long things are supposed to last anymore. I feel like everything breaks so easily. And even when I try to spend more on something, it still ends up breaking. I just bought a new NutriBullet, I don't know, a year and a half ago, because the one I had previously for probably 5 years busted. This one, a year and a half and busted, didn't work anymore. I was like, this is ridiculous. And I don't even think anything comes with a warranty anymore. So, and I don't know where I can get it fixed. I feel like nothing lasts. It's not just children's things. It's everything. I bought this beautiful crock pot that could also do kind of Insta cooking. It was really expensive. I bought it as a gift for my husband, but it busted after like less than 3 years, one of which I didn't use it for because it was packed away before we could get into our house. And 2 years of use for a $300 plus machine. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not good at taking care of things. I really try to be because I don't want to rebuy stuff, but I can't tell if it's me or if it's just how things are made. And again, if we just have fewer like repair shops or people don't think of repairing things, so those services have gone by the wayside. But it does make me feel so guilty. But I can't hold on to something that's broken in the hopes that at some point I come across somebody who could fix it. I know it's not going to be me. I don't even know if I could figure out how to do it. So sometimes you just have to let it go and let the guilt go. And honestly, I think I'm just going to buy sometimes less expensive things so that if they do break, I don't have to feel as bad about it. But I don't know if you all have tips or tricks for like good brands for like really kitchen appliances, let me know, because I'm more than happy to spend a little bit extra if I know it's going to last a while. Sorry, that was like a long rant there. And you'll notice I do not organize my kids' toys. That was my ta-da. I just throw things in there and close the door because I just know it's going to get ruined again. But for me, for peace of mind, being able to close the door, it's like, oh, that problem doesn't exist anymore. And they know where their toys are, so they'll open it, they'll take them all out. Sometimes they'll put them back in on a good day. Other times the toys will stay on the floor. But again, at least I can very quickly, very easily put things away and shut the door and move on. And our house is very like ski lodge, wood cabin kind of feel, but I know it looks really outdated. I'm just wondering, would it make it look just slightly more updated if I at least painted like the doors and the trim white, especially in this basement because it's kind of dark, if it would like help brighten the space, or if that would just be too much against the grain of what the house is. I want to, respect the house and not try to make it like a modern farmhouse, which it clearly is not, but it would be nice to like find easy ways to update things without a total gut job. Okay. Finished product. I'm sure to many of you it may still look cluttered, but I like to think of it as lived in. We spend a lot of time down here, and that's why I love that cabinet, because kids' toys just go right in, close the door, and whoop, done with cleaning, and it looks a little better. And sorry about the lighting, but it is a basement with this amazing, I don't know, early 80s or 90s track lighting that's only on these two sides of the room for some reason. So you just have a big dark space right in the middle. But alas, we're good. It serves our needs. Thanks all for joining.